What's up everyone, I'm the KnK, and this is my quickie review of Thor, Love and Thunder. This video is brought to you by the KnK store, creativity by design llc.com/shop. You can buy all kinds of cool KnK merchandise. We've got t-shirts, notebooks, pens, water bottles, and a poster. Check it out, and thank you for your business. Now back to the review. Thor, Love and Thunder is another Thor movie. It's by the guy who did Thor Ragnarok, which I love Thor Ragnarok. Love and Thunder, not so much. I can't exactly say I loved Love and Thunder. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good either. Let's talk about the positive. Christian Bale. Christian Bale is hands down this movie's saving grace. He plays Gorr, the God Butcher, who goes around with a sword killing other gods. And his story arc was really well done. They built him up in the beginning. We got to see what's going on with him, why he ends up becoming the way he does, and that was really damn good. Everything that Christian Bale did on screen was phenomenal. There were scenes where he was just so creepy. He was like a horror movie villain in a comic book movie. There's a scene where there's all these kids around, and then he just appears in the shadows and you see his glowing orange gold eyes and he's just staring at them. There's another scene early on and it looks like a skull is shining through the darkness. I really loved everything they did with Christian Bale. Every time he was on screen, the movie was great. He was creepy. He was fantastic. He played a damn good villain. He is what makes this movie better than Dark World, better than Black Widow, better than Eternals, better than Captain Marvel. On the downside, Thor felt like a complete regression of his character from the last several movies. He was just way too dumb. I don't know what happened, but it's like his intelligence just completely dropped off. It was sad because I liked what they did with Thor in Ragnarok. I love what they were doing with him in Infinity War and Endgame. And then this just felt like they went back to movie number one or pre-movie number one Thor. He was just dumb. He was as bright as coal. Then we have the plot with Jane as Thor, taken out of the comics, where Jane gets the hammer, gets Mjolnir, becomes Thor. I like this idea. I thought it was a clever idea. I thought the concept was well done. In the movie, they completely half-assed it. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's in the comics and it's at the beginning of the movie, but so basically Jane has cancer that's killing her, and she uses the hammer to become Thor because she thinks it might help her not die of cancer. And all the Jane stuff was great in concept. Natalie Portman did a hell of a job acting with the material she was given, but they just completely botched this entire plot line. This is something that should have been developed over a couple movies, not just crammed into this one movie that's barely 2 hours. The Guardians of the Galaxy that you saw in the trailers, what you see in the trailers of them is pretty much their only scenes in this movie. They were completely pointless. It felt like the only reason they were in this movie was because Endgame ended with Thor joining the Guardians. They didn't need to be here. In fact, why even end Endgame with that if you weren't going to do anything with this plotline? It should have been Thor and the Guardians throughout at least half the film or something. Russell Crowe is in this movie playing Zeus, which was playing a pretty good dickish Zeus. I can't say it was Russell Crowe's greatest performance ever. He just seemed to kind of ham it up at times and not give his all, as I've seen the man do a really phenomenal job acting, and this was not his best work. Still, I liked the way the character was portrayed. It was funny. I know there are a lot of people that were like, ooh, during that scene. There was also one other cool aspect. They go to the Shadow Realm, which is kind of funny because I was thinking Yu-Gi-Oh when I heard Shadow Realm. That is pretty much a big fight sequence that's in mostly black and white with just a tint of color. I really love the way they portrayed the Shadow Realm. That was also a highlight of the film and the best thing next to Christian Bale. Other than that, there's not much more I can say without getting into spoiler territory, so I'm going to stop there. The soundtrack was adequate, a little bit too much licensed rock music in it. It was fine in Ragnarok, but this one it felt like, oh, well, since you liked it in Ragnarok, we're gonna do it 2 times more. So instead of having like 2 songs, we're gonna give you like 4 songs or 6 songs or whatever it was. Overall, the movie was fine, nothing special. I mean, it kind of sucked, but wasn't downright bad where it's not worth watching. However, if you're sick of the MCU, you're not going to find anything in this one that will make you want to jump back in the MCU. There are 2 post-credit scenes, one in the middle of the credits and one after. Now, I know the one in the middle was definitely important for things that are going to happen later on throughout the MCU. Not sure about the last credit scene. It could end up coming back later on. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, what TT just tried to copy what he did with Ragnarok, and it didn't work out as well. It was just way too silly for its own good. Sometimes Marvel has had a habit of putting jokes in serious scenes, but more often than not, it worked. Here, just like Black Widow, it didn't work so much. There were comedic scenes as like, ugh, why did you need there? Like, there's these goats that are just annoying. They're not funny after a while. It was funny like the first time, but then it just got grating. Overall, I give Thor Love and Thunder a 6 out of 10. I'm going to say a 6. Not my favorite MCU film, and nowhere near one of their best. What did you think of Thor Love and Thunder? Let me know in the comments below. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking in to support me. You can support me on Patreon at Kaiju Nakami, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Kaiju Nakami, Discord, Kaiju Nakami, my website creativitybydesignllc.com, and there's a store with a link below or on the website creativitybydesignllc.com/shop where you can get cool Kaiju Nakami merchandise. Until next time, bye.